Hi, welcome everybody. Let's start again. So some of you have already created accounts with AMO to kind of search for clinical rotations. It's really important that you create an account with Tbilisi Medical Academy. And the reason for that is a few. Number one, the university needs to write you a dean's letter to approve you to go. So that way they can view your account and what rotations you're applying for to make sure that it's right with the curriculum and they can write your dean's letter. Also, there's $250 off the cost of any rotation you choose. And it's special because we're not offering that to any other universities anymore. That was kind of any university that partnered with us in the past. So it's actually really good. So that's on any rotation. And I will go into the cost of rotations, how they help you, what we offer, and then afterwards I'll answer any questions you have. Fingers crossed, I might be getting a live video doctor to come in to this presentation. Are there speakers connected to this? If I have a live video on, will they come into this? Okay, so a lot of IT details. So I'll go into the presentation. Now this QR code, it's actually on these posters, so I will give them to Katya and we will put one up in the library and maybe one in the student center. So in the future, students that aren't here, they could just scan that because they didn't give me their emails. All right, I will get started and then hopefully the doctor will join. It's very early in the morning for him, so it just depends if he can join. Oops. All right, so who is AMO? Well, there are many ways to go to your rotations. You could do them all here in Georgia at the hospitals. You could go for 1 month to the UK or Europe, which is now separate, right? You can come to the US or you can go to another country. See, the thing about medical education nowadays is it's becoming more and more common for students to come from one country to study medical education in another country, to do their clinical rotations in a third country, and to end up becoming a doctor in a fourth country. So there's a lot of mobility of doctors. And to really compete in the world, you must do at least one clinical rotation abroad, at least 4 weeks is what we recommend. Now, I will show you what AMO offers and how we do it. But as I know, your university has been very thoughtful in trying to help all students to go abroad, and they have various programs that you can apply for. So I hope that all of you will get to experience doing a rotation in another country outside of the country you're currently studying in, and I'll show you some options that we have. So what do we do that's different from, okay. We actually contract with hospitals, so we have 220 clinical sites in the United States, and we're actually opening up some clinical sites in the UK. So at a very top hospital, I'm not going to name it right now, but in the future, maybe a month or two, you'll see it live on our site that you can select and apply. So the hospitals use our software to see who's coming. Our services help all visitors from 192 countries to kind of get their visas, housing, flights, malpractice insurance, health insurance. And so we take care of all the administrative burden that many hospitals can't do those things. So we kind of open them up to the international community, whereas before, you really, most of our hospitals you couldn't get into as a foreign medical student. Oh, and also for the hospitals that do have some slots for students, they're limited. So there might only be 10 slots a year. They might be free, but there's only 10 a year and they get hundreds of applications. So yes, our spots do cost money. Most of that money ends up going back to the hospital for the spot. So the good thing is that it's guaranteed. So, and it's very simple too. So you just apply, upload your documents, create application, pay, go. Get your visa letter, visa, go. So we make the process as simple as possible for students all over the world, not just students, graduates. So what is this US clinical experience? Well, yes, we are opening sites outside of the US now, UK for one, but this presentation will focus on all of our US sites. So we have both hands-on and observership. Students in their pre-clinical years would be doing observerships. Students in their clinical years would be doing hands-on without USMLE. You don't need that. Just in your clinical years with a dean's letter stating that you're a student in their 4th, 5th, or 6th year in medical school. Now, what's the difference? Well, essentially, for the letter, the LOR that you're going to get at the end of your rotation, there's no difference. It doesn't say, you know, you came for observership or you came for hands-on. That's not what a letter of recommendation states. So if you're trying to use the experience to become a US physician, it doesn't matter either way. But hands-on is going to be light hands-on in the US. It's not, I know visitors can come to Georgia and do a little bit more. In the US, you might be taking vital signs, speaking, interacting with patients. So I have a question for the audience. How many languages do you think are spoken in the US? About? A lot? What?
I think English and maybe Spanish.
How many? Name a number.
Three. One on English.
Oh my gosh, you guys are medical school students. Well, it's not really a medical question, right? But it's, you know, maybe 350 languages spoken. So you can imagine how many ethnic groups that represents and how many different types of conditions that you get to see by rotating in a hospital in the US. It's one of the only countries in the world that has almost every ethnic group in the world, right? With Canada, UK maybe also. So you really get a wide spectrum of cases and get to interact. So you're going to interact with patients. You're going to maybe talk with them, take vital signs, but it's very light hands-on. Observerships, similar to hands-on, but you just can't interact with the patients. But you're still practicing differential diagnoses, speaking with the preceptor. There's lots of learning opportunities. And if you show initiative, you can ask the preceptor, the doctor that you're working with, you know, what else can I do? Are there extra rounds in the hospital I can go to, or different things like that? So you can take initiative on these as well, although we set up the schedule for you, but you can always ask for more. So what are the benefits? Well, you can build your CV, resume. You all speak English. You all have medical English, but this gives you American medical terminology spoken at the hospital. So you're going to enhance your medical English even further. You're going to get, of course, the letter of recommendation, assuming that you are on time and you work hard and you work well with the patients and the doctor. I would say 99.9% of all of our visitors get their LOR, and the ones that don't, there's probably a specific reason why. So as far as school credit for the experience, I'm currently talking with your university, and I'll meet with the dean afterwards and just continue that discussion. But you can always ask your university, you know, if I can get credit for this. It would need to meet curriculum guidelines, and you'd need to have the sign-off from the preceptor. But that is possible. And if you want to become a US physician, of course you should come for rotations, at least one, before you take USMLE Step 2, because a lot of the questions are kind of going to be about clinical experience, and it'll really help you to do better on Step 2. So we are the largest clinical experience marketplace in the world. We have 220 current sites. As I said, we're starting to add more and more with many teaching hospitals, more than 70 specialties. So really any specialty you could imagine, we probably have a physician that'll teach you in that specialty. are support. So every visitor is assigned a one-to-one success coach. So the moment you pay your deposit, that coach is assigned to you, helps you with your visa letter, visa appointment, collecting your immunizations, verifying your transcripts, flights, whatever you can think of. That success coach is one-to-one for you the rest of the way through. I mean, we've even had visitors that came 5 years ago and contact their success coach and say, I lost my LOR, can you get a copy of my LOR? And we're there for you. I mean, we're really, your support throughout the process. The application process is very simple and transparent, and that's what we really are doing. We're trying to make medical rotations, clinical attachments, research, observerships, all those things very accessible to students all over the world. Not only all over the world, American students also use our platform. It's just that easy, right? It's not this long application process. We do everything. We try to make it very simple for you. But you can create an account for free. You can search the 220 rotations for free. You can ask 100 questions for free. You can create applications for free. The only time you pay is when you actually go to reserve. But remember, if you create an application for a hospital and you really want that, you should pay the deposit, because until you pay that, it's not reserved for you, and any student or doctor from around the world that wants to come to that rotation can take it. Some of our spots only have one per month. Some have much more. Yes, you may come in. So I added this slide recently because every time I finish a presentation, everybody's always asking me about scholarships and pricing. So I actually created this slide so that hopefully it answers all your questions about that. So we have rotations that start from about $1,000 a month, and the most expensive is about $4,300. That's just for the cost of the rotation and all of our services and assistance for you. Visa letter, all that sort of thing. It does not cover flights, housing, food, or insurance. But we have a lot of programs around $2,400 or between $2,000 and $2,400. A lot of options that are under $2,400. So that's a big percentage of our visitors, the price is around there. And then the average price of a homestay, if you want to live with an American family near the hospital, and often breakfast is included in that, is around $1,000. Anywhere from $900 to $1,200. It depends on the city. And then flights about $1,100 maybe. It changes around the year. You can get under $1,000 certain times of the year. And then food and insurance is less than $500. So overall, it's still, quite an expense. But of that price, you can subtract $250 that your medical school actually graciously entered into that agreement a while ago. And so that's wonderful to offer. As far as extra scholarships, any extra scholarships would come from whatever country you're from. So I work hard to speak with the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education of every country I go to, and I try to help them to support this type of education, clinical attachments. But you really need to appeal to your home government for any kind of scholarship options. Let me just check if that was... Yes, he's going to be on. So I'm just going to open it up so that he jumps on. And then when the doctor gets on, I'm going to stop talking. He'll talk for a while, and then I'll finish my presentation. So how it works, you all filled out your email on this form. The students that are not here, we will put these posters up and they can just scan the QR code. As soon as I get to my office, or I will type up your emails and I'll send you all an email. Or if people scan the QR code, it's instant. You get an email. That email has a link to create an account with your university. It's very important that your account is connected with your university, or else you can't get that discount. And also your university can't see your application. Then you just search. You also have a WhatsApp number, our advisors. You can call them, you can text them. They'll help you choose what program's right for you. You can choose it on your own, that's fine, but like if you want cardiology, there might be 20 options. So then kind of narrowing those down based on, so we usually look at your CV, your account, ask you some questions, or you tell us, what's important. Is it the lowest cost? Is it a hospital affiliation? Is it you want the top hospital in America? Is it the month or the location? What's the most important thing to you, so we can kind of help you choose the right spot. Then you apply. Again, it's free. Then we approve you usually within 24 to 48 hours, you'll be approved. Once you're approved, then you can pay your deposit, get your visa, upload the rest of your documents, complete enrollment, and then come to rotate. So all you need is your CV, your resume, to create an application. That's it. So you create an account and upload your resume. And then you can start creating applications. Your resume should be maybe just one page. State your name, statement of purpose. I would like to come to the UK or the US for a clinical rotation in cardiology because why? Maybe what's your plan after that rotation? I will come back to complete my medical school or things like that. And then the name of your medical school, the year, what year you're in, and any research or clinical rotations you've already done. And that's it. Pretty simple, basic one-page resume. The rest of these documents, immunizations, malpractice insurance, that's only for hands-on rotations. Health insurance, passport, visa, HIPAA agreement. We will help you with all of that after you pay your deposit, after you're already coming. Yeah, I'll take questions at the end if you have questions. There's also pre-enrollment orientation and then a pre-departure orientation. So we make sure to give you all the information you need about what to wear, how to act, what should you do on the first day. So really everything you can ever imagine, so that it's very simple and easy for you to just come and focus on the rotation. Our support staff. So we have three kind of groups of staff. We have our advisors that will help you choose the right rotation for you. Again, you'll get their WhatsApp number. We have our visitor experience coaches. Those are the coaches that are assigned to you one-to-one once you're ready to come. And then our rotations coordinators, who you will never meet, but if you have a problem with the hospital or your clinical site, you will call or email your experience coach right away, and they'll work with the rotations team. They'll call the doctor or the hospital and work with them. We always solve every issue within 24 hours. Not that we really have many issues, because we're all constantly on the phone and working with our clinical sites. So some numbers for you. 27% of US physicians are foreign trained. We are not trying to steal the world's top talent doctors and come to the US to become physicians. The truth is that this is true in many countries in the world. In the UK, it's about 24%. There's a shortage of physicians and nurses in the world, and it's expected to grow a lot by 2030. So there's a need, and that's why more and more medical students are going abroad for medical school, another country for rotations, and getting prepared to work in maybe another country. But there's a clear process to becoming a US physician for those that want that. But about 50% or 60% of our visitors Simply come for 1 month just to experience a specialty or subspecialty, learn about that healthcare system, and then apply it back in their home country. What else could I tell you? Last year, we brought 689 visitors from around the world to the US, and we've been growing quite a bit. So even January, February, it's getting larger and larger because we do have more clinical sites now. So, still waiting for the doctor to join. St. Anthony Hospital is in Chicago. It's an ACGME teaching hospital, which means it's a community hospital, which means you would interact with a lot of different ethnic groups and conditions. It's also the site for University of Chicago, which is a top 50 medical school, where the students go and rotate at St. Anthony. So you would be rotating with American students as well. And there's lots of specialties offered. We love when students come there because we always do a big orientation kind of thing at our head office in Chicago for anyone that comes to our Chicago sites. University of Illinois Health and Cardiology, but I just wanted, oh, it's not there. It was in a different presentation. I'm going to just open up. So once I email you, just wait till I email you to create an account, because then you'll have the exact link for Tbilisi Medical Academy. Then you can go on. You can go into documents and upload your CV so you can start to create applications. You can search by medical specialties. Can you all see this? I'll just kind of scroll through real quickly just so you can kind of see some of them. We do have dentistry and nursing as well. Oh, and I see Dr. Albert joining, which is kind of perfect timing because I just finished my presentation, Dr. Albert. Hi, so I just finished my presentation. I'm going to turn this. We are at Tbilisi Medical Academy in Georgia.
Good morning.
I'm going to turn this around so you can see everybody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, go ahead. Can you hear us? Where did he go? He disappeared. Yeah, there you are. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Dr. Albert?
Can you hear me or no?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah. You can start. You can start. Go.
I can't hear anybody there. Okay. If you guys can hear me, I'll just keep talking. Okay. Okay, appreciate it. Good morning. So much for an introduction. My name is Dr. Andrew Albert. I'm the medical director of Digestive Health and advocate at Illinois Medical Center. And I'm one of the mentors and preceptors for people like you who come to the States. It's nice to meet you all. In the rotation, we welcome students to come and join us. The students get a whole breadth of experience. They get to rotate with me in my clinic and see patients having a one-on-one experience and basically examining patients, performing a differential diagnosis, and then reporting back to me on what they find. That's been quite the experience for them. Additionally, in addition to clinic, some of you guys can come with me to the hospital and see patients there where I perform colonoscopy and endoscopy on patients as part of my gastroenterology practice. That's always been interesting. There's some interesting things we see that people sometimes blush about, but they seem to enjoy. Then on the side, Part of the experience is we welcome you to join us in some of our population health initiatives. So as a gastroenterologist, one of my biggest interests is colon cancer prevention. And so what I do is have some of you come with me out into the businesses and speak to people about colon cancer. One of my most gratifying moments is when speaking to people and we talk about colon cancer with some of you, and you do the presentation if you'd like, and then at the end, people often will ask what a colon is, and they don't actually know what a colon is. So that's been quite the experience for us. But as far as the rotation, you are welcome to make it what you want. AMO does a great job in engaging you to come, but what we encourage you to do is let us know what you want to do. If you want to do more work outside the clinic, you're welcome to do that. But we definitely encourage you to speak up and tell us how we can make this rotation a good one for you, because this is your elective. And as far as letters of recommendation, we're happy to write those for you. We, of course, love when people are interested and engaged, and so we encourage you to please be as excited or engaged or involved as you'd like to be, because this is your opportunity, and AMO does a great job at doing that. I've been with them for about 3 years now, and it's been wonderful. My first few students had never been to the States before, and so I was privileged enough to welcome them. That was quite something. So anyway, I hope you enjoy your information session. I'm sorry that I can't hear you, but it's been a wonderful experience, and I wish you all the best of luck.
I think because it was plugged in. Can you hear now?
Oh, now what?
Yeah, so I had you plugged into the speakers, so but we all heard you just fine, no problem. And yeah, does anyone have? I mean, we'll take maybe just 2 questions for the doctor if you have any questions. If not, we can wait till the end of the presentation and I can answer any questions you have. Good? Clear? Great. Okay, everyone say thank you, Dr. Albert.
It was nice to talk with you.
Okay, bye-bye. All right. So that was nice when we can get a preceptor in. I'm really done with my presentation and really just open it up. I showed you a bit of the software and how it works, uploading your documents. But I'm really here just to take your questions. As I said, I know there's lots of options for you to go abroad and study, and I urge you to go through all those routes. Ours is maybe a little bit more expensive than some options, but it's guaranteed, and we make it very easy for you. So what other questions might you have? Because I'm sure any questions you have, the people watching this on the camera are going to have the same questions. Go ahead.
So my question is that if I will pay and everything, but then I will get a problem or something will happen. Like I want to cancel or something. So
what kind of problem?
Like maybe visa problem.
Okay, well that's specific problem. So first of all, you're only paying a deposit. If you already have a US visa, then you just pay for the full amount of the rotation and come. The reason we do deposits is because of the visa, right? So the deposit is usually, for most programs, it's $699, so essentially $700. We used to charge even more transaction fee. We eliminated that. So it's simply the $699. If you do not get a visa, you get either half the money refunded immediately, or you can take that and apply it to another rotation, and we can do some things to try to help you get a visa. There's various things we can do. I'll give you an extra support letter, contact the embassy possibly, depending on where you're applying.
Can I also add, because our students participated in this rotation, so they did not have any issues with this, with the visas, because they got the help, recommendations, also I think that's the letters. So one was a student from India and another student was from Nigeria. Those who participated in this rotation. So
yeah, we don't really have a problem with visas. I mean, there are certain countries that are having issues right now in the US, but I'm sure you all know which ones those are. It's pretty public knowledge. But these policies change in every country. It's not just the US announcing, travel bans from certain countries. Every country has travel bans of some other countries in the world, and they kind of change with different administrations, so it goes up and down. So I encourage everyone to create an account and apply. Our advisor team will advise you if you're from a country that we think has a low visa approval rate or something like that. But in general, we have more than 95% visa approval rate for all of our applicants. So, it does happen, and it can happen at random too. But we have measures for that. And we try to bring as many countries as we can to the US because it really helps our hospitals. They want visitors. I mean, you heard Dr. Albert. I mean, we only contract with sites where we feel they will be good for international medical students and doctors. So when you leave the rotation with us, you leave a review, just like Airbnb or one of these companies. So we really want 5-star reviews. We don't want any 4-star or 3-star. So we do our best to make sure that when you're done, you're going to give us 5 stars, because if you give us 2 or 3 stars, we're going to review that hospital site. Maybe there's a problem there, right? And so we do eliminate sites that are not fitting for our international medical students and graduates. So basically all 220 sites we have now have been reviewed and validated. Any other questions? Yeah?
Are there any specific requirements to being approved for the clinical location?
No, really, you must be a medical student, or graduate, and that's it. We do have immunizations. There's a lot you need to collect together, but as long as you're a current medical student, that's the only requirement. And then it comes down to whether you can do observership or hands-on. If you apply for the wrong rotation, we won't approve you. We'll say you should have applied for hands-on because you're in your clinical years and you applied for observership, for example, and we'll change your application or something. But no, that's the beauty of AMO. It's guaranteed acceptance. It does cost money, but you just click, apply, pay, and are accepted. Yes?
You were saying about the scholarship, and you were talking with some health ministries. So about those countries, can we find the countries list on the website?
Who's been asking questions? I always give little doctors to whoever asks questions. So I don't have a list. It's really just asking your country, applying to your country. That's the crux of it. Like if I want to come study in Georgia, I would ask the US government for either a loan or a scholarship, or sometimes private companies too. And essentially you do get a scholarship, $250. That's essentially what we're giving to Tbilisi Medical Academy, which might not sound like a lot. It's a lot off the rotation, but the total cost I know is a lot more. But not many schools have any discount, so it's something. Yeah, is that it? Nobody else wants a doctor? All right, well, I thank you so much for your time. I understand it's kind of exam period, and I know it's not the best time for me to have come here to visit, but I really appreciate your time. And after you get that email, you'll have a WhatsApp number, so you can text, chat, email now, next month, next year. A lot of our visitors that kind of can't afford this during medical school, they become a doctor and come many years later. We have many doctors that come through our programs too, because we have other sites that are only for physicians, like University of Miami, Georgetown Medical Center. So some really top hospitals for physicians to come as well. I would like to ask you to come with me out to the sign and take a picture with some of you, if you would allow me to. But that's all I have for you today. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.